Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another cargo rover. This one is called the Snowrider, which is this lovely thing sitting right behind me. So this is a fairly large small block rover that features no weapons around the outside, but it does use an autocannon as a piece of decoration that you can probably see at the back there with a camera attached on the side. So pressing F10 and finding this in the spawn menu, the Snowrider is 3,188 small blocks, using the Wasteland, Heavy Industry, Warfare 2, Sparks of the Future, and Decorative Block number 2 DLC packs. We do have a lovely lot of information about it on the Steam Workshop page, but it's all been done in images, so we can't see it on this screen. So simply give this a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, quick look at the interior, then we'll drive around for a bit, and I think that will be that. So at the very front, what we've got for Snowrider is a lovely bunch of dark grey and light grey steel blocks. We can also see a transparent LCD screen that's got a bunch of information on there, such as scripts for our radar and some stuff for our driving control script. Right below there we've got a camera so we can see straight forwards what's going on, and it's at just the right height to make sure you can see any kind of pesky rocks coming towards you. Move around onto the side, we can see a Wasteland spotlight sitting behind some armoured panels just to light up the front. Then we've got ourselves a warfare battery, a bunch of blaster edge blocks and some cylinders to make it like a very convincing O2H2 generator. Onto the side, that's our survival kit, which we'll access from the interior, and we do have an LCD screen with a warning label on there that says Snowrider, and then we've got Starlink connected. Pulling away from that and moving on through this section, we've got some more armoured panels on some more blast edge blocks and cylinders. There's a doorway to get in and out, but one on the opposite side. We see some spare wheels underneath just in case you need it. Then over to this section, this is our decorative autocannon. We've got a cylinder on the front with a camera, then we've got some blast edge blocks, a wheel, another cylinder, and a camera to appear at the back. If we were to move around towards the very back, this is what we get. We've got one hell of a brake light out of neon tubes, and right below there we've got some lovely LCD screens with a red X on both of them, with another camera right below there so we get a good view of what's going behind us. If we were to move all the way up and above and look down, there's a laser antenna, got some more fantastic use for our armoured panels. And as we were to move along the middle here, might need to bring the sun around so we can actually see what's going on. There we go. We've got some large cargo containers with some window blocks on top for a little bit of protection. If we were to move all the way along, there's a ladder just in case you want to take it off and put it on the side. There's an ore detector so we can go out and about and find precious resources. And at the very front, there we go. Dropping down and coming underneath it. So there's our lovely large wasteland wheels. And underneath there we are. We can't really see it too much, apart from a bunch of blaster edge blocks that are connecting up all of our wheel suspensions. There's our spare wheels in the middle, then towards the very back there's a connector just in case you want to dock this thing up or eject anything out. We'll just come all the way up, that's the very back. We'll take a look on this side because I believe I did miss this out. So instead of having our autocannon, we simply have the camera set up without it. There's a doorway to get inside, and there we are at the front with our warfare battery. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the Snowrider, and does look fantastic as it's all been set up. But now what we can do is go inside it, so grabbing hold of my character, turning around onto the side, we'll come in through this doorway, so we'll need to jetpack all the way up, open up the door, single the door so there's no airlock. Now we can turn around, and this is what we're greeted with. Now there is a bunch of neon tubes on the inside here, which is a little bit of a problem if you were to get stuck on them. I noticed that if we were to come onto this side, these are very easy to get stuck underneath, but you will need to use your jetpack to free yourself. Yes, just moving into the corner, that's what we can see. So we've got a helmet on the left hand side, which is going to be very useful for controlling any kind of drones you want to escort this vehicle to its destination. And on the opposite side, a couple of the seats for your passengers to sit on. Turning around and facing backwards, that's our large cargo containers we saw from the top. And turning around back towards the front there, we can see our survival kit on both sides. Then towards the front, that's our cockpit to get inside. But we do have two doorways, two identical doorways that come around to a cryopod for you to have a little sleep and to recharge yourself in. Anyway, turning around, closing that up, there we go, we'll close up that one as well. I don't think I missed anything out in here. No, we've got our seats, survival kit, there's our helm, and that's about that. Now we can just turn around, come into this doorway, and now hop into our rover seat to drive this thing around. So bring up the HUD, we do have a few controls, but they start on tab number 3. We've got tab number 3 and 4, and we've got some stuff in front of us. So there's our radar script, we can see our batteries, then we can see our driver assist script on the left hand side, as well as our meters per second up and above there. And looking down, we've got some more warning labels and some stuff that I can't quite make out. But as for the controls for this vehicle, coming to third person view, number 1 is going to be our batteries to turn on and off, and that will take out all the power on this vehicle. We've got number 2 to turn to auto, number 3 to turn to recharge, and then number 4 for our O2HU generators to toggle that on and off. 5 and 6 is going to be for our wheel power, with 7 and 8 being to manually raise and lower the vehicle. Number 9 is for a script that controls our wheel suspension automatically, so we can just toggle that, then ignore everything else. You can see there the vehicle is slowly raising up by itself, I was assuming a bit more, and I think it's settled down. On to tab number 2, or tab number 4 even, got even more controls, where number 1 and number 2 is going to be to change our suspension mode. We're pressing number 1, that'll put us into the low suspension mode, pressing number 2, that'll put us into high suspension mode, so you can switch between that depending on what you need. Number 3 is going to be for our gyroscopes on and off, and number 4 is going to be our cruise control, so we can start to move forwards, do the parking brake, press number 4, and we just cruise along at a constant speed. Pressing it again will then slowly come to a stop, then we just press P for our parking brake. Number 5 for our antenna on and off, number 6 for our beacon, then number 7 is for our laser antenna, in case you want to use that. As for that, that's that for the controls, that's that for the outside and interior. So it's time to undo that and just charge along on this snowy planet. So this is what we get just holding forwards. It's a lovely flat planet, so there should be no risk of any kind of lumps and bumps here. And looks like we are capping out at about 33 meters per second. Slamming on the brake. No risk of this ever flipping over, which is always nice to see. Sometimes some vehicles do love to do a front flip when you slam on the brakes, so it's always a good thing to check that out. But now just moving forwards at high speed and then doing a sharp turn. Third person view. There we are, no risk of this thing flipping over whatsoever. I just keep holding forwards and right, and we stay firmly on the ground. But now one final thing to do, of course, is to remove the speed limit from our wheels, then just charge along here to see what kind of destruction we can cause. And here we go. I did have to disable the programmable block, so it was limiting the speed automatically, which I suppose is a very nice safety system, stop people like me from trying to ruin everything. So we're now coming up to about 85 meters per second, we are slowly crawling up to 100. It's taking its time, and we are getting very close to that sandbank, or even snowbank in the distance. Don't know why I just said sand, but we're going to go all the way up to it, see what kind of damage we can deal when we slam into it, and that'll be that for this video. So at the end of the day, it is a lovely vehicle if you do want to go out and about exploring. It's got everything you need for basic survival. We've got 2 survival kits so we can refine up and build some basic components. And we do have a nice bit of protection on the inside from any kind of stray shots coming towards you. The only thing you're not good against is drones, so it might be a good idea to put a gun on the side. And there we go, we just slam into the front. Didn't really deal too much damage. It looks like we just lost part of the front bumper, so that's always nice to see. But anyway, as I was saying, it would be a good idea to slap a gun on here if you do want to use this in survival mode, because the drones will pick you apart. And well, there's plenty of place to actually slot it around. But as for that, it's a lovely little vehicle. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.